Lucrative compensation packages with generous stock and equity are disappearing and might become a thing of the past.
Let's get back to work.
Get back to work.
America is back to work.
Well, you might not believe me, you know that tech talent is in high demand. In the first quarter of 2022, the US added 1.1 million jobs. That's up 43% from a year earlier. The DICE Tech Salary Review shows that 61% of technologists got a salary increase last year, up from 52% in 2020. 67% of technologists are very satisfied or somewhat satisfied with their salary, up from 55.5% in 2020. The proportion of people who felt unhappy with their pay dropped by nearly a third, from 30.2% in 2020 to 10.2% last year. Web developers saw the biggest salary increase of 21.3% to $98,912, while management saw an increase on average to $151,983 between 2020 and 2021. So why do I think tech salaries are going to decrease? Well, welcome to a brand new future.
Another job recruiter slid into my DMs, scheduled an interview, and then when I finally told her the salary and everything like that, he was like, that's way too high. I don't know what you want from me. You want me. I don't want you. Give me something to leave. I am already making what you're offering me. You want me to leave, you have to offer more. And if you're curious, this happens to me probably once a month now. So they'll be like, well, our budget won't allow that. And I'm like, great, then your budget won't allow for me and you'll find someone else.
Let's start first off with the reality check. $150K base salary is not an insanely high compensation in tech. In many large US cities, $150K is not an impressive salary. With the right experience and skill set, someone with 5 years in the industry can get $150K in cities like San Francisco. When I say extreme high salaries in tech, I mean the corporate FANG company level compensation. These companies are able to offer up to half of their compensation in stock and generally have deep pockets. For example, I met a Netflix engineer who had a specific kind of skill set that had a base salary of $300K with a total compensation package of $450K. That's $250K in salary and $300K base salary. This person is not in management. This is an individual contributor. That is an insanely high tech salary. UX designers at Amazon with 5 years of experience are making $170K base with almost a $300K total comp when stock is in play. And it's not hard to find tech management at startups or these FANG companies that make $400K base and $600 to $700K total compensation. These numbers sound big because they are. Web developers making $98K a year possibly may only see salary growth moving forward, but it is not those people that I'm talking about when I say the crazy high tech salaries of the past may be disappearing. And there's obvious factors, first being stocks and equity. FANG companies and these corporate tech companies have had nonstop growth for years, even over a decade. Their stock has only gone up in value, and they can offer stock and compensation packages because they don't show up in the budget report. Or maybe it's a startup and you get a percentage of the company. The blend of equity and stock with base compensation has always been present in tech, but now things are getting a little dicey. People who may have had large compensation packages when stocks were high are finding that their salary is now lower. And not all those employees can cash out that stock or equity when it's at its high. Or a company gives out the stock and equity when it's at its high, but delays the employee from being able to cash it out before they've vested a certain time limit. That means that these companies could be underwater, offering stocks at their height, or people finding that their overall compensation is worth a lot less money than it was last year. These conversations mainly apply to the heavyweights in tech, that's FANG companies and the larger corporate tech companies. It's easy to give out stock and equity when a company has unstoppable growth, but now we're seeing some of these companies slow their growth, and we should expect to see a slow in growth in the crazy FANG corporate tech compensation packages. The next factor being the end of the VC startup. After several successful VC tech startups in the early 2000s came onto the market, VC investment became a normal thing. In the past, it was dangerous to invest in technology that had not been developed with young people, but as soon as enough VCs got the profit, well, it became a cultural norm for VC investors to throw money at startups. Yeah, not every startup is highly funded because not every startup idea is a good idea, but this culture finally allowed the management and high-level people in tech an ability to invest their money in something other than stocks or real estate to get insane gains. So for years, VCs are throwing money at these companies that don't necessarily need to make a profit yet. They just need to get more VC money to help the company keep growing for the inevitable, hopeful profit that may someday come. These companies are not limited by a budget or limited by the need to get profit, so they have limitless budgets and pockets. These startups are willing to pay anywhere between 15 to 30% more for candidates just to get them on board before other companies. And they're able to to do so because they can go fundraise more money if they run out. But now that the economy is changing, some of these VCs are not going to be able to get more funding. And some are already in layoff. Many startups that have paid tens of thousands of dollars in recruitment fees are now laying off their employees. The hiring strategy of offering the highest salary possible is a winning strategy when a company is doing well. But when the economy turns or the business isn't running like it should, that strategy can't be managed long term. And some of these startups are going to be going bankrupt based on their hiring costs alone. And the third aspect I think impacting the insane high tech salaries in the tech industry is the tech talent gap. I put it in quotes because I don't think it's real anymore. While there is a shortage of people who have degrees from 5-year universities and or have 15 to 20 years of experience, there is not a shortage of tech talent in many roles within the tech industry. Tech was previously proud of its exclusivity, limiting who and who could not be considered part of the industry. The pool of talent in tech is changing. For example, copywriters now need to learn JavaScript. So being a JavaScript engineer in this market might not lead to a high salary if people outside the tech industry need to have your skill set. Some of these jobs run the risk of being outsourced. Some run the risk of being eliminated by the advance of technology. For example, data science will ultimately be replaced by AI. So while those who are working in data engineering, AI, VR, and cloud architecture will likely have plenty of job opportunities in the future and garner the highest salaries, other roles will have more competition, allowing employers to pick the most affordable option, which ultimately drives down the salaries in tech. Generally speaking, tech has grown in salary faster than any other industry. Being an engineer now is like being a doctor or lawyer in the past, but the pace of salary growth in tech is so much faster than other industries that it's creating somewhat of a tech salary bubble. A lot of these high-paying tech companies will also pay their non-tech employee high salaries as well, like product manager or marketing. But if you look at the rest of America, 19% of Americans surveyed in 2019 were satisfied with their salary. I can't find any numbers for 2022, but surveys show the most common reason people are dissatisfied with their job is salary, and 45% of Americans are dissatisfied with their job compared to the 10% in tech that are dissatisfied. So either there's more room to grow for job satisfaction in the US for all jobs across the board during a economic recession when industries and companies are slowing the pace of growth and making their budgets smaller, or this leaves plenty of room for dissatisfaction in tech concerning salary or job. That is the new reality and new future I'm talking about. In 2018, I went to a tech meetup in San Francisco. I talked to entry-level engineers at Spotify. They said all they had to do was learn JavaScript and they got a 6-figure paying job at Spotify. Well, 5 years later, the Spotify CEO says he's laying off 25% of his staff. That might be because he paid too much for entry-level employees. And that is a sentiment I want you to take from this video. The demand for tech will never go away, especially for those certain industries I mentioned: AI, VR, data engineering, and cloud architecture. But tech generalists like product managers, sales engineers, and front-end or UI engineer roles may not see the same kind of salary growth or may see increased competition. Those who are good at their job and have relevant job experience will always have a job and always have career opportunities, but not everyone. If you want to jump into a tech PM role right now, I would say it's not really a good idea. I see a ton of those people looking for jobs on the market. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video so other people looking for information on tech salaries on YouTube can find this video. Please subscribe so you can see more videos like this. I do lots of tech topics, so if you have a job in the industry, looking for a job in the industry, or just in the industry, this channel's for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.